What's good, everybody? Ace of all trades here with the game Illuminaughty. Hope you guys are having a great day so far. If you guys didn't get a chance to check out our last video, be sure to check out the link down in the description box below. We are back for another Triple Threat Sports podcast. Now, before we get into the Super Bowl edition of Triple Threat Sports podcast, I got to introduce you guys my co-host, first co-host. Say what up, C Guns.
What up?
Next, you guys know him as UTXJGTHEDON, but he's also known as the LA Rams supporter, and he's going to the Super Bowl. Say what up, JG.
Oh, don't it feel so good? Don't it feel so good? The lone person of the Triple Threat Sports podcast, my team is going to the ship. And people are mad, and we gonna talk about it.
Man, we definitely gonna talk about it for sure. So at the time of this recording, we've already gone through the Pro Bowl, which was yesterday. I'm sure some of you guys watched it. Whoop-de-whoop-de-doo. I've lost interest in the Pro Bowl after I turned 15, but AFC won 26-7. But we're gonna talk about these NFL conference championship games we got to between the Rams and the Saints, which, oh boy, there's a lot of controversy behind that one, and then the Chiefs and the Patriots. Before we get to the smoke and everything like that, because JG's been handing them out all this week, let's go ahead and start getting into the NFL conference championships for the Patriots and the Chiefs. Now, I'll go with you first, Siggy. What'd you think of that game, man? Did you think, oh man, the Patriots had it from the jump, or what'd you think, man?
I had a feeling the Patriots would win. I wanted the Chiefs to win. We talked about, even though we made a mistake, that the Patriots beat them the first time. I thought being at home was going to be the difference, and it looked like it would have been the difference, but there was a lot of key mistakes that the Chiefs made. And we all knew from the beginning of the year that if the Chiefs were going to go far, their defense was going to have to play better, and their defense was still atrocious, and it was more magnified because I don't know what this dude was thinking, lining up in the neutral zone that killed them at the end of the game to make it to where it was pretty much essentially, I think that's what made it to where they tied, right?
Yeah,
before they went to overtime.
I mean, you gave Tom Brady over 2.5 minutes to come back because the Chiefs were winning in the fourth quarter. The Chiefs had to score 24 points in the fourth quarter after going the first half scoreless, and then you give Tom Brady, even though he's a little baby, you give Tom Brady 30 seconds or more. That's all he needs to be able to drive it down the field, no matter who his personnel is.
I would say 35 seconds or more because he actually had 32 that one Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's true.
And lost.
That's true. I mean, hey, bro.
No, just play.
No, seriously though.
I knew whenever they marched down the field, they scored too damn quick and
way too quick, way too quick.
And I had a feeling that was gonna happen. But the thing that was really that play I was talking about though was when he lined up and it was a 5-yard penalty to give him the first down, whatever it was, and that killed them. It really did. But no, it was a very entertaining game, and I was hoping the Chiefs could pull it off, but we could talk about that also. I know that was the big controversy with the Saints and Rams game that we'll get to in a little bit, but once again, the game being decided in overtime with the sudden death touchdown thing, I think kind of killed the excitement of the game because everybody else started talking about it. It's like, well, obviously, if the Patriots march on, if they win, it doesn't seem fair. And I could see, I've been talking about these overtime rules in the NFL for years now. Even when they switched to this, it's better than what it was before.
It definitely is.
It makes no sense to make it to where, or you have a chance to go for it with field goals, but not touchdown. To me, that's dumb. Why can't it just be any score? If you march down the field, you have the ball first, and you score, period, whether it's a field goal, whether it's a touchdown, why can't the other team have the chance to try to get that also? It doesn't make sense that it's only for field goals. I never understood that logic, but that is the rules. And I think though this magnifies being that it was such an entertaining game. I think a lot more people are now starting to question why is it that the Patriots win just because they got the touchdown and not give the Chiefs a chance? Because I would think everybody would assume that the Chiefs could easily score a touchdown also because the way the game was going, they were going back and forth at the end. But, we'll never know. That's the rules. it always seems to always benefit the the Patriots at the end. So whoever won the coin toss, which I already knew whatever happens, like, oh, well, the Patriots are gonna win the coin toss. I can say that now. Tom Brady's gonna win it, and he's gonna get the touchdown. And sure enough, it happened. It was like kind of destroyed it for me. But congratulations, Patriots. Congratulations, Tom Brady, and they're backing it again
for the third year in a row. By the way, man, JG, man, your thoughts? Go for it.
Yeah, so I didn't get to see the majority of the game. I ended up coming back home around the fourth quarter.
Oh, you were partying? Yeah, you were celebrating? Yeah, I bet.
Nah, I wasn't partying. I actually had some wedding stuff to do. So.
Oh, look at that, man, being an adult. Look at you.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I got to be an adult. So, but when I did see, personally, I was like, yo, like, okay, first of all, Gronk showed up, so he stopped just strictly blocking. They actually used him, and he was very effective. Edelman was very effective, and it was just overall, like, on the Patriots side, Brady didn't have to do that much because literally the running backs handled it all. Like, it was pretty crazy, like, how once again the running game was like that dominant. When you're thinking about the team like the Patriots and you're thinking about the GOAT, Tom Brady, but him not having to take over the game as much as people would think that you would have to rely on him. It was pretty interesting how Sony Michel, and James White and Burkhead ended up like really pulling the load during that game. But it was going back and forth for what I could see, because the Chiefs running game was no slouch either. But again, like the costly penalty, we'll see. He said, I think that was Eric Berry who ended up doing that one. That was a really, really crucial play. And then just the fact that the Patriots won a coin toss. I mean, what can you say? I mean, we joke about, giving Tom Brady too much time. Anytime like this under freaking 2 minutes is like, too much for him. But you win a coin toss, and then like to just win in that fashion. Like, I mean, what else can you say? I mean, you can't really be super upset, because I mean that's just a luck of the draw. Because if you really want to finish them, you should have tried to finish them before it even got to that point. But it is what it is. I do agree that I never really liked the NFL's rules for overtime. I would like for both teams to get a chance, but that's just the way that it is. That's the way it's been for a while. So I'm not really upset at the rules, because again, like, and we'll get to the Rams and the Saints in a minute, but you see that happened. The Saints ended up winning, and they got the ball first and still ended up losing. So like I said, you just, at the end of the day, you had to stop Tom Brady and the Patriots, and the Chiefs just couldn't do that in overtime. But it is crazy though that both of those, the NFC and the AFC Championship games, both went to overtime. And it ended up being two different outcomes at the end of the day. But I mean, like I said, you can't bet against the Patriots. I obviously want the Chiefs to win, like we said in the last podcast. But that's just the way the cookie crumbles, man. Patriots are back, and we get a chance to run it back now in Atlanta.
Right.
There was one common theme in both the games. Both road teams won, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, it was definitely interesting. Very, very interesting. I thought with the Chiefs being home, it definitely would help them. But again, to say, quote unquote, to say that the Patriots are anything but underdogs is truly ridiculous. I mean, technically, yes. But to go back to what you guys were saying about the overtime rules, I agree. I've always been skeptical about it. I mean, just seeing it and then hearing, okay, like, I can understand to in a sense when it comes to field goals, you would, and it's, of course, if you're a kicker, it's easier for you to be able to, once you hit if you got a good kicker, once you hit that 50-yard line and then you're going towards the opposition's goal and you're about to score, and you kick a 35-yard field goal, it's easier essentially, instead of throwing a touchdown or running a touchdown, because you got to go through more men and everything along those lines. So the NFL saw it as, okay, if you can make that easy point, then we should give the opposite team that opportunity to make that easy point or score a touchdown, which then that's when it gets kind of all right, well, if they can score a field goal, why not just do the same thing for a touchdown too? So I understand. Hopefully they eventually change that, but I highly doubt that they will. And then when it comes to the Patriots and the Chiefs game, I mean, to be honest with you, besides how the Chiefs played towards the second half, honestly, they killed themselves when they didn't do anything in the first half. I think that if they would would have played the first half with some more conviction and actually would have scored, I think they would have won this game. I definitely do think that. I fully believe that. I think that if they would have played the way how they did in the second half and the first half, they would have won that game. But they didn't. So the Patriots are in the Super Bowl for the third time in a row, you guys. And yeah, so let's go over to the controversial game of the Rams and the Saints. Also, another great game that also ended in overtime, which has been a while since I think both NFC and AFC championship games have ended in overtime. But
Great curse.
Oh man. So let's just get right into it. Honestly, the first quarter belonged to the Saints. Saints were up 13-0. I know JG was kind of a little nervous, but didn't matter.
That was the scenario that I told JG.
Yeah, it was.
If they found themselves down like 14-0, what was your confidence level? And sure enough, it was put to the test right away.
Yep, absolutely. And
but the one thing I said that he needed to do was golf, needed to play, and sure enough, he did.
He definitely did. He got an interception, but he still went from 25 out of 40 for 297 yards. So, I mean, one touchdown, one interception. So, he definitely showed up, that's for sure. But, of course, I mean, it's Drew Brees. I mean, what? It's Drew Brees, bro. He's going 200. He went for 26 for 40, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. So, you can't, he's not a slouch either. So it was definitely a good game. I mean, they were actually going back and forth the entire time. I mean, Saints had 13 points the first quarter. Rams came around and scored 10 points. Then they didn't score. Didn't score again into the third quarter. Both teams scored 7, and then the fourth quarter came around, and then that's how we got to overtime, and the Rams won. So, man, I'm shocked. I know JG is not necessarily shocked. He's happy as hell. But there's a lot of controversy going around this game. Not just overtime, but there's a lot of controversy. And JG's been offering a lot of smoke on social media, y'all. He's been going in after the game was over. He humbly said, hey, I'm happy for the Rams that we made it. He agreed that some of the calls were a little much when it comes to the Rams and the Saints. But the Saints are clearly not in the Super Bowl. The Rams are.
All right, well, let's just go ahead and get down to it.
JG, go to smoke. Give out the smoke.
Hold on, because I actually want to talk about the game before we get into that, because I don't want to rile myself up. So let's talk about the game just as a whole.
Well, you're gonna bring up all the other penalties.
Yeah.
So, no, we're gonna talk about that after. We're gonna talk about
all right, go.
The main play, but the things I noticed from this game is we pretty much neutralized their run game because Ingram didn't do much and Kamara did not do much on the ground. He did all his damage in the air, and he was actually the leading receiver. All of those dump offs to the right and to the left.
Shit's killed y'all.
And he almost got 100 yards. But guess what? We stopped Michael Thomas, so that was also a big thing. Michael Thomas did not do much, so we did our job there. And they could not stop us in the air as much as we thought was going to happen. Jared Goff actually showed up. He threw some great passes, particularly to Brandon Cooks when it mattered, and he made it happen. Robert Woods had spectacular catches too. So at the end of the day, like Siggy said, Jared Goff showed up, and he was mainly the reason why we won, because we had a little, controversy there as well with our running game. CJ Anderson was in the majority of the time, and people were still wondering, like, why is Ty Gurley not playing? Ty Gurley did score a touchdown, but what was like a 4-yarder? Like, it was barely anything, and Ty Gurley still really didn't get much on the ground. CJ Anderson
get like 10 yards on the I mean, he was stretching on the bike too, so obviously he's still not healthy. Like, we thought that something was up with him, and it's showing.
That's what I said, because I was like, there's no reason why you don't, start him and give him the majority of the workload, even though we have CJ. So CJ ended up taking over the game once again, and I'm like, okay, what's going on? Now, CJ Anderson didn't do much, but he did enough that, he made them a little scared on the ground, and then that's when Jared Goff ended up turning up, and that's when he did his thing. But really, it was Jared Goff who was the star, and I'm hoping, because this is the big show now, so, if Ty Gurley is still not 100%, he better be, and I'm hoping that he can start and still carry the workload, because we're really going to need him in this, and I really hope that, like, he can actually do damage, because again, even though I love CJ Anderson, I still would love that dual running attack. Because I still believe, even though Sony Michel and James White and Burkhead are good as a three-headed monster, I still believe that C.J. Anderson, who won a Super Bowl, by the way, so he has experience, and Ty Gurley, I mean, freaking like the offensive MVP of last year, and still like at one point in time he was a leading touchdown person on the ground. I mean, he still can do damage. He's still a threat, and I still think that with those two people that we are better than the Patriots big three on the ground. So I just want to mention those things. I thought that it was great that we ended up doing our job. We neutralized that run game. We made sure Michael Thomas ain't do much. So that's just what I want. So now we can get into the controversy.
Free smoke, free smoke. Go ahead, JG, bro. Let's go ahead and talk about it, bro. Go ahead and talk about the pass interference, bro. Go ahead and talk about it.
So again, I will never ever deny, because that'll just be asinine to me, to ever deny that wasn't a clear call, whether it was pass interference or helmet to helmet, which it was both.
It was like three of them.
It was like all three of them. Yeah, it was
defensive receiver. It was like a whole bunch of things. Right?
Yeah, it was a lot of it. It was a lot of it put into one. And what makes it worse is that wasn't the only controversial pass interference that didn't get called on Roby Coleman, because it was both on Roby Coleman. That's the crazy thing, because I agreed that both of those should have been called.
You said you agreed, JG? You actually agreed?
Yep,
damn, the way I saw on social media, I thought you disagreed with the way they're acting, the Saints fans.
I know, right? I actually told them what they wanted to hear, but just because I'm a Rams fan and I was happy, they got upset. And
damn,
like, oh no, and I'm like, what do you want me to do?
Your happiness.
Yeah, I'm like, what do you want me to do? Like, I can't do anything else. Like,
we're in the Super Bowl. Like,
I will say this, for the major call that literally everybody's talking about and they can't stop talking about, it still wasn't, at the end of the day, it wasn't in the end zone. You could go with what ifs, but if was a fifth, like I don't know what else to say. There's no guarantee that he would have scored there, and I think that people are literally like just disregarding it, and they're just saying, oh, because of the call that the Saints would have won. But again, that's not 100% certain. The probability would have went up. Oh yeah.
Well, I think it would have changed the dynamic of the game, because they were forced to go for a field goal for a tie, right? Yes. So what their thing is that it would have got him like at the 4 or 5 yard line, whatever it was, maybe 3, I forgot. And their probability would have been highly likely that it could have been a touchdown, and then that would have made it to where, it's by 4 points if they get the extra point. It could have changed the game, because then either the Rams win or they lose at that point. It was not going to be an overtime.
Yeah, but I want to mention one thing before you say that.
No, I was go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, but just like in the Patriots game, though, everybody, was like, oh, it wasn't touched by element, it wasn't touched by element. The very next play, it was almost like ball don't lie, so you never know what can happen. So I was just going to say, that
call
game
was wild too, by the way.
That the very next play could have been a fumble, or Breeze could have just missed a snap, and by the time it could have been a pick six or something.
Right. Exactly.
So we can never play the what ifs.
Exactly. That's why I'm trying to get people to just stop that, because let's not act like that was the only most controversial call ever that could have swayed the entire game. Like everybody refers to, and I know you did, Siggy, the catch, the Dez Bryant catch. Maybe the Cowboys would have went on. Like if that would have happened, if that would have got called, then they probably would have went on most likely. The Patriots, let's just get on the Patriots alone. But yeah, I mean, the Patriots have been a part of so many things that they just deny. And we're just going to forget about all of that. We're just going to say that because of this one call that we don't deserve it, that just because it didn't get called. I understand the dude was right there. The referee was right there. Saints fans were so mad that they mistaken that dude for another player who is a ref now, who apparently played for the Los Angeles Rams in 1981, bro, and also played for the Falcons. I'm like, are you serious? Like, matter of fact, y'all got it. Not only did y'all get it wrong, but y'all are so damn petty that y'all not only attacked him, but y'all attacked his son too, which my girlfriend knows. My fiance knows. And she was like, wait a minute, like, why are y'all saying this? Y'all saying you're going to kill him, sending death threats and all this stuff. It's just ridiculous. We have a freaking petition that's been signed that they want the game to be played over. Like
760,000 signatures.
It's so many things. It just boggles my brain how, everybody is trying to get on us, and I feel like it's overshadowing the matchup because the Saints fans and apparently everybody else across America, they want this to be recalled. They want us to do a do-over. Like literally, the Super Bowl is this Sunday. It's not going to happen, and even if it did,
It's not happening Friday, and they're gonna play Sunday.
Like, nah, that's not going down, fam. That's not even realistic. So
yeah, this isn't baseball where you can just pick up and
right.
Exactly. That's never happened before. I've never seen a redo. And if so, we can go back, plenty of years, and we should redo those games too then. How about that? Because I mean, the past is the past. You can't take it back. The past is the past. But let's not get on that because obviously, that was the most controversial call that everybody saw.
Oh, absolutely.
Let's talk about everything else that was missed in that game because the refs apparently were letting both of us play. Both teams played. There were plenty of calls against us. There were actually 2 separate face mask calls that did not get called.
Bro, that shit was wild. Clear.
One specifically was Jared Goff run when he was hesitating. He actually could have ran that in, but if he didn't hesitate, that's what ended up getting to the controversy there with the face mask that didn't get called. What if that would have got called? We would have got a fresh set of downs, and guess what? We probably would have scored too. So again, we're talking about probabilities that that might not ever happen. So again, we're just being petty because it was plenty of those that got called. There were other PI calls against us that weren't called either. So it was no calls on both sides. It was just that particular play that ended up, getting everybody round up because that should have been a call like no matter what. And
like y'all pointed out, they did have the ball first in overtime. We saw Tom Brady take care of it with them. Drew Brees could easily use that anger and did it, yo.
And we got an interception. So I mean, It is what it is. And then we kicked the 57-yarder, and there we go. We going to the Super Bowl. So
57.
Crazy, and then okay, now this is another part that I don't agree with. Roby big shit. Like he hasn't stopped talking since that happened. He like, yep, I did it. He said he put that man on a Waffle House pancake.
I saw that
Waffle House pan, bro. I'm like, Roby, stop talking. He admitted it. That's the crazy thing. As soon like after it happened, he admitted. He said, hell yeah, I did it because I ain't want him to score. And he was like, sometimes, and I don't think that it's necessarily a good thing to say, but I understand why he said it. He said like I did it because like I would rather get the penalty than him score. And I'm like, okay, I understand that, but you could have hurt him at the end of the day because it was a helmet to helmet. So it's like I agree, but I also highly disagree at what the actual play was and how you did it. It's like, okay, I understand what you're trying to say, but nah, bro. So Roby is still talking big stuff. I even like watched not watched, but I listened to a Bleacher Report thing where they were interviewing Roby Coleman after it happened. He was talking about like his past and stuff and how his mom died when he was going to college and how his child died like 5 minutes after being born. So he was like, I'm used to all this stuff. And they were talking about his past and whatnot. And now like he doesn't care what anybody was saying because people were sending him death threats too, saying they're going to kill him and all that stuff. Like just people being extra. Again, I understand you're upset, but that's super extra. So again, I understand everybody's mad about that call, but I just want to make clear that there have been a lot of no calls in any sport that have happened. If you want to go back and do a redo on this one, we should do a redo on everything because I would guarantee you the Patriots probably wouldn't have all these Super Bowls or other teams wouldn't have all these Super Bowls.
Yeah, we do the tuck rule.
Yeah, the tuck rule. They wouldn't even have been to the Super Bowl. So like, let's go back if you want to be super petty. But again, I want to make sure and I want to stress that particular game, the refs were clearly letting them play because it was a ton of calls that were not called. That's all I want to say. We going to the Super Bowl. I'm gonna be in Atlanta this weekend. Fuck everybody.
That man JG said he pulling up. And by the way, speaking of the petition that has over 760,000, I'm gonna give you the exact number: 760,562 signatures, y'all. And guess when the game was supposed to be played? Guess.
When?
January 27th, yesterday. At the time of the recording.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Sunday,
Yeah. The time of recording, it was supposed to be played January 27th. When the Pro Bowl was going on. So pretty much what they expected to happen is those players that if they went on to the Pro Bowl and everything like that, they were supposed to not be in Florida. They were supposed to go back to New Orleans and they were supposed to play the game and they were supposed to duke it out from there, and then the winner would go to the Super Bowl, and then that's where it was supposed to happen. Now Now, the commissioner does have the power to overturn something like that from an extraneous situation or extraneous call, but he ain't gonna do that shit. Let's be real. That ain't gonna happen.
All they did was fine Roby.
That's it,
Like
a fine.
5 days after the fact.
A fine. That's it. Nothing else. A fine.
And that was because of the helmet to helmet.
Right. The least worst, the least thing that happened. That's wild. Now, y'all on social media, all y'all Saints fans or so-called Saint fans are acting fake mad and outraged. It's one thing to get on a social media outburst and be upset and everything like that. Be upset because of the game, completely fine. But sending death threats to people because of that is never called for. And yeah, you're gonna, of course, if you see some Ram fans, you know what, you could be mad at them and everything like that.
Outrage culture today, though, man.
Yeah, that you're true. But the thing is, though, if it's one thing if the Rams fans are saying, nah, F that, there was never a penalty, da-da-da-da. It was clear as day that it was a penalty. There was a lot of clear penalties, for sure. But for you to send death threats saying you want to beat people up and stuff like that, like, grow the fuck up. Like, that's not how life works.
They dug up information on all those refs. So
yeah, bro. And like, they all live in LA and all that. I was like, bro, that's wild.
They have like everything.
They got all the evidence.
They probably did all the DNA testing, all they already inherited. they know who their great uncle is.
Like, that's
gonna ref again.
Like, that's wild. Like, they legit went through all that paperwork and everything like that to find out where all the refs lives. They were like, oh, they all in California. They got ties to LA. It was a fix. The fix was in. All of that. That shit is wild. Imagine if you guys would use that, all that stuff that you guys tried to do and everything like that to something productive. Imagine the things that you would do for your career, for your health, for your family, all of that. That's wild. Grow the fuck up. Like geez.
I'm sorry, dog. I don't have any remorse or sympathy towards Saints fans. I understand that, you know, y'all had a legacy. Katrina was the real thing, but Katrina is over. You already won y'all Super Bowl in the last 10 years, so y'all can go on with that mess. I'm not trying to hear any sob stories about that. We back in LA. We haven't won a Super Bowl in LA before.
All right, so now the comments are definitely be popping.
Oh man, they going on, bro.
I don't care, bro, because people being salty. I could be petty and salty right back.
All right,
you could use that. You gotta treasure right now the LA. Actually, what you say they actually did, because I remember whenever they started the playoffs, there was a whole bunch about the fires and stuff like that. So
yeah, we can talk about that. Yeah. Cause that's the whole reason why my homie, when we had the Chiefs game, cause he was already mad that we ended up getting, you know, home field advantage after the Mexico City debacle with the field. But yeah, they were like, oh yeah, they're playing on the firefighters and the wildfires, so y'all destined to win. I was like,
oh my god.
Like, if it's not one thing, it's another. So like, everybody just needs to chill out. I understand. Like, I've dealt with the struggle that is the Rams in St. Louis. I've dealt with Jeff Fisher. I've dealt with Steve Spagnuolo. I've dealt with the $50 million man, Sam Bradford. I've dealt with all of that stuff, man. I've dealt with like everything after the greatest show on turf.
You're saying you did your time.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly what he said. He did his time. He struggled.
I feel as a Jets fan.
I've dealt with Steven Jackson getting these 1,000-yard seasons. Yet we go like 1-15 one year. Like, it's been really, really bad. So can't nobody take my happiness away from me that we are going to Super Bowl. I wouldn't even imagine that we would go to the Super Bowl after the second year with Sean McVay. We went to the playoffs.
Youngest coach to ever do it.
Yeah, lost that the first year. This time we end up going all the way. And again, like, this is what we've been on. Everything in the offseason, I was like, yo, and I think you said it too, Sig, and other people said it too. If we don't go to the Super Bowl with
we called it. We called it.
We spent all this money and we got the perfect team now, so we deserve it. I didn't think we were gonna realistically go this far, but we did. So you can't take my happiness away from me. And again, Saints, y'all really want to go to Atlanta? Not this year. Y'all don't want to go to Atlanta. They would have pulled y'all the mess. I'm more than certain that there would have been like a ton of fights there. I'm sorry, but we saved y'all. So
oh man, JG pulling up to Atlanta with all the smoke, gonna meet with all the rappers and everything like that, and talk his shit and link up with Black and everything like that. He want all the smoke to all the Saints fans. Free smoke for free smoke. But JG, are you prepared to defend your Rams if you guys let the New England Patriots win? Because you know they coming for that ass if they lose. You know that, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I hope you're ready. I hope you got your memes and all that ready, boy, because they are gunning for you. The second the game is over.
Yeah, just another day for us where we won another championship. Tom Brady gonna keep playing until he's 45.
I saw that.
Like, yeah, I'm prepared for all of that, and I just hope that we can once again upset them. I'm not trying to have Tom Brady throw for 500 yards though. They're just ridiculous.
Bro, if that happens, yeah.
I don't want any of that crap happening, but I'm prepared.
It better not be no blowout either. I swear to God, if it's a blowout, JG.
Nah, I highly doubt it.
If they pick y'all defense like that, bro, oh my God,
it's gonna be a chess match though. I'll tell you that for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
It's gonna be a huge chess match, and I would love to see Sean McVay find a way to outwit Bill Belichick. And I guess I don't know if you want to segue to like the Super Bowl.
Yeah, we need to segue right to it. So I mean, we ain't asking JG. We know who he's going for. Siggy, who are you going for, bro?
Well, I'm going for the Rams. The thing is,
why though? Why are you going for the Rams?
Because I'm tired of the Patriots.
Okay. at least he's honest.
At least you're honest.
You gotta remember, I'm a Jets fan, so I've always not want them to win. They just been winning. Now, don't get me wrong. I appreciate what Tom Brady and the Patriots have done all these years. You know, I can stand and sit back and be like, okay, yeah, that's pretty
definitely a dynasty.
But I mean, yeah, I just want them. I want them to lose. I've always wanted them to lose. Seahawks lost to them, and I don't even like the Seahawks like that. I hated that what's their faces lost to them a few years ago. The Rams and the Eagles when it was Donovan McNabb and T.O. I wish they won. I mean, there's a whole bunch of times that I wish the Patriots would have lost. The only times I was happy was whenever the Giants finally did it twice.
They did it twice.
And to be honest, with those Super Bowls are always my favorites just because of how they, not only that they lost, but how they lost. It was like finally somebody miraculously beat them with some miracle plays.
Hey, Eli Manning will forever be the Tom Brady killer. Always, no matter what. That's the one legacy that he will always have. No matter where he goes later on in life, he will always be the Tom. Yeah, exactly. He will be considered the Tom Brady and Patriots killer, because once the Giants got there, they won both times. And that's what New Yorkers use over the Patriots fans all the time. So.
Oh yeah, it's always like that. No, but I do want the Rams to win. Now, being realistic, looking at the game, I know that this was also a game that was high scoring. What was it, 53, 50, 54, 50? I don't know what it was. But I know the Rams did win that one the first time, right?
What are you talking about, this year?
Yeah.
No, we didn't face the Patriots this year.
Who was it? Oh, that was against the Chiefs. Never mind.
Yeah.
Then, all right. The Patriots, though, in this game against the Rams, they faced the Chiefs already, so they're not scared of Goff. Like whenever I was last week, I was talking about Breeze, and I need that the Saints to beat the Saints, Goff needed to show up. Goff can show up in this game against the Patriots, and that wouldn't matter. And because the one thing we do know is that Mahomes and that Chiefs offense, in my opinion, I know probably not to JG's opinion, is better than the Rams. Now maybe earlier in the season when they were both scoring a whole bunch of points, that's what I thought about the 54 game, because they were playing against each other. That that Goff and that Mahomes, that would have been scary, but they're not playing like that right now. The Rams. Now he did show up, but it was still not like I thought he would. I wanted the 400-yard Goff to show up. We got 300-yard Goff, but in order for them to beat the Patriots, we need a 350, 400-yard Goff, and I just don't see that. And the thing is, if Gurley is not healthy, like we saw that he wasn't, he was on his bike the whole time it looked. If he's still like that after all this time, then there's just no way I see the Rams beating the Patriots. And it's not because of lack of trying and stuff like that. I think the games could be close. It's just that the Chiefs threw everything at the Patriots, and it still wasn't enough in the end. And it didn't even look like Tom Brady, like we talked about, he didn't have to do much. It didn't even look like they really tried. Like after they jumped out, ahead, they kind of coasted, and I'm afraid that would happen. And against this team, the Rams, if the Rams, like we talked about, they were down 14-0, that was gonna be a problem. They were down 13-0, and it got to the point to where it was they still won the game, but it was a struggle just to get to that point. Now their defense kept them in the game the whole time. I don't know if that defense can hold the Patriots offense like that, because even if you stop their three-headed running backs, then all of a sudden it's like, oh, hey, by the way, I'm Tom Brady, and hi, here's Edelman.
Right, exactly. That little small bastard just gets everywhere, bro, and that's annoying. But he can't be stopped, bro. It's annoying.
And that's the thing, that they haven't even, all they used was 50% of their playbook, it seemed, against the Chiefs. And they didn't have to pull out all their, all the tricks, and they just saved it. Now it's carrying over to the Rams. So that's the reason why I have a feeling that the Patriots win. I do hope the Rams win.
God, don't let this man get a 6 ring, bro. Oh my God, Tom Brady gonna talk his shit, bro. He gonna be at the ring ceremony, have a handful of Super Bowl rings, and then get another one in his thumb, bro. That shit gonna be wild. And he gonna be in the picture like this. Hold on, make sure I'm in the camera like this. Like the shit is gonna be wild, bro. Oh my God. Oh my God.
So I do think that the Patriots win. I hope I'm wrong, and this is one of those situations like last week. I hope I was wrong, and sure enough, I was in the Rams game, and but I was wrong on the Chiefs, so for sure. But yeah, I don't know, man. I'm rooting for you, JG. I just don't know.
Right. And myself, I'm going for the Rams. I got to, especially for the fact is, like, now they are LA's team at the moment, because the Chargers, being the Chargers, fuck. So yeah, I'm definitely going with the Rams. But Siggy does make a brilliant point. And the fact is, it's the Patriots. If they're going to stop, if Patriots get their run game stopped, don't worry, they got a little bastard, aka Edelman, that's gonna just. And Tom Brady is going to literally pick your defense apart. And the defense and the offense for the Rams are going to be at the test right now. Honestly, coming into the game, the Patriots are definitely the front runner. I do believe that the Rams are the underdog. Regardless, this is a dynasty that they are going against. But this could be the ending of the Patriot and Tom Brady and Bill Belichick's dynasty with a loss here, which evidently enough started with the Rams so many years ago. So this actually is a perfect setup. Now, if the Rams do win, then I see that the Patriots are going to start tumbling down. I truly believe it's going to be the end of the dynasty. I do think so. I definitely do think Tom Brady has a couple more years in him. Belichick definitely has a few years in him, and then it's going to go down from there. But if JG and St. Louis Rams, if JG and the Los Angeles Rams don't win this game, they are going to be the sole reasons why Tom Brady's getting a 7th ring and an 8th ring and a 9th ring. And we're going to blame the Rams, and we're going to blame UTXJGTHEDON. All right.
Don't blame me.
Hey, bro. Y'all win together, y'all lose together, man. Rams for one, bro. I got to deal with my loss with the Chargers. See, you got to continue to go down with that headache with the Jets. And Flock got to deal with the Baltimore Ravens. So, bro, if you lose with your team, it's y'all fault. It's your fault, nigga. Yep.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So what do you think, though? We know you're going for your Rams this week. What do you think?
What, he gonna say? What you gonna say? The Patriots? Like what?
No. But as far as how do you think the game is gonna flow? What do you? I know you said that you think that the key is gonna be Gurley. Do you think he's healthy? Do you think after these 2 weeks?
I can only hope so. But I actually don't think that he's gonna be 100%.
Man, that shit's gonna hurt them too.
I don't think he's gonna be 100%. But I think that, especially after what happened during the Saints game, the NFC Championship, I think that Sean McVay is going to run him more. I think he's just going to be more confident. He's just going to have to tough it out. At the end of the day, he's just going to have to tough it out. Again, I don't mind CJ Anderson, starting off being the front back, but Ty Gurley definitely needs to be the key piece that we need to get past the Patriots. I'm actually a little bit scared. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm a little scared of the Patriots because now that Gronk has showed back up, he's definitely that factor that I'm just like, bro, like, what are we gonna do? Who are we gonna put on him? A lot of people are saying that we're probably gonna put Aqib Talib on him. But I mean, really, nobody can guard him. Nobody.
He's a big dude, bro. He's hard to guard.
Yeah, he's gonna run over everybody, and then we got Edelman, obviously, who's gonna find a way.
Their sets have been showing up too for them
randomly, yeah, because you need somebody else. Because Chris Hogan ain't really been doing much. He's supposed to, have been doing way better because of last year, but he still hasn't really showed up. So somebody else has to. Is that technical second wide receiver? But he's just gonna. I already know Brady's gonna be dumping off to James White all the time. We gotta make sure that we limit Sony Michel though, because this kid, oh my lord, like I'm just gonna hope that like Ty Gurley and Sony Michel were like talking to each other, and Ty Gurley like, I'm gonna beat your ass, right? Like you're not gonna get anywhere, because they both Georgia boys, they both Bulldogs, and they they were in the they were actually at school together, and Sony Michel was actually the second. I think he was the second or the third running back behind Ty.
What's up, everybody?
He came out and went to the Rams. So, and I know they got the little camaraderie there, but I'm hoping he talked like big shit to him. Like, nah, you're not going to get this championship, homeboy. It's going to be mine. I'm going to get one before you. So, I'm actually very, very afraid of Sony Michel. I'm hoping that, like, because I don't know if y'all watching that game, man. That man was breaking off for like big chunk yardage.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
8, 9, 10. I'm like, how are y'all allowing this to happen? I don't understand. And our run defense is suspect. It's been suspect the entire season. Our secondary ended up being more suspect when Akeem Talib got hurt. But once he came back, the stats don't lie. We definitely have been doing a lot better. But our run defense is still very suspect. But I do have hope, though, because we did limit the Saints' running attack, and I was really more scared of their running attack than the Patriots. But now the Patriots have 3 people compared to 2, so, again, we can do anything. But I know the one thing, actually 2 things that we need to do is I think that we need to blitz early and often. We need to make sure that either Donald or Sue can get off of these because they're not going to be able to double team both of these guys every single play. So one of them needs to definitely eat and make Tom Brady nervous. We need to hurry him like every single time, and we need to make sure that he cannot make these little dump ball passes in 2 seconds. We need to figure out what's going on. We also do not need to be playing zone. I know that they want to, but we need to make sure that there are men on Edelman and Gronk at all times.
Absolutely.
All times, because I'm not trying to have a Charger situation, because they literally got 8 up that game, and it was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. So I'm hoping that Sean McVay, that we can get that going, man, because I really don't want the same thing to happen. I think that if we can stick to that game plan, that we can make Tom Brady nervous almost every single play and stop rushing like only 3 people at a time.
Don't touch your shoulder.
That's right. You go get a fine. If we could do that, then I think that we will have a chance. And I honestly still think that our offensive core is better, but the Patriots' offensive core, even without Josh Gordon, is no slouch. So it's going to be a struggle for sure. But I'm just hoping that we can limit those dump ball passes for good chunk yardage. I'm hoping that we can limit Sony Michel and that entire Patriots run game, and I'm hoping that we can hold Edelman and Gronk to a minimum. Because if we can do it with Michael Thomas and if we can limit Kamara and Ingram, then I think that we do have a shot against the Patriots.
Okay. Now that with that being said, we will be going back to our regular scheduled Triple Threat Sports podcast next week after the Super Bowl, and all the other sports news will be incorporated. But we had to go ahead and knock this one out, especially because JG's been handing out smoke on social media, y'all. So of course we needed to get him while he still had his emotions were held high, and get him on the Triple Threat Sports podcast. So we appreciate everybody for coming through. As always, shout out to all you guys for coming through. If you guys are new to the channel, you guys already know what to do. Go ahead and hit that like button, hit the subscribe button as well. Let us know what your thoughts are about the Super Bowl coming up this weekend in the comment sections below. If you'd like to continue to support the game of Illuminaughty as a whole, be sure to check out our Patreon. That is patreon.com/GI updates. We have a whole bunch of awesome tiers. We have a lot of games coming out that's going to be for squad. So if you want to pull up in the Discord, play with us, but also play with some of the members of the GI community, be sure to pull up. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. This has been Ace of All Trades, Siggy Guns, and UTXJGTHEDON. Hopefully UTXJG the Super Bowl winner after next week, and we out of here. Peace.
And one more thing.
Oh my God, what?
If you don't want Tom Brady making Instagram videos talking about we ain't done yet, come over to the Rams. I'll welcome you with open arms on the bandwagon. Let's beat Tom Brady and the Patriots. Let's go. Let's do this.
All right, y'all. We're out. God damn it.
Bye.